Okay, guys, so what you're seeing here is the aftermath of basically me spraying diesel fuel inside the entire case. Not necessarily me, but a consequence of my actions. So, long story short is that I was doing a 6 hour test trying to figure out or trying to make sure that everything was going to go great. And long story short is that it didn't. I came out at about I don't know, about 5 hour mark, and the thing was dripping diesel. Had diesel everywhere, and I was like, "Where did this come from?" So I started to search, checked all the connection points, checked everything that you could possibly imagine, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And so I started to do a breakdown of where it was probably from based off of the spray marks. So you're going to see here in a second what I discovered. But long story short, this heater element, or sorry, the bracket, right, was basically slowly melting its way through this line. Now, I can't see it. I'm looking for it, and I can't see it. So I'm like, where is this diesel fuel coming from? And that I ended up trying to figure out how else I can route this, because I think that that's where the source of the problem is. So after looking at it underneath the light, I found that that metal bracket actually melted slowly through this. And when you actually close it, or not close it, when you actually put it straight, it looks as though it's actually sealed. So that's where everything came from. So now I'm going to fit in the exhaust, just rough it in, and figure out where I'm going to reroute this line, because the support bracket, obviously, getting as hot as it does isn't going to be a wise idea to route it that way. So I take a guess here at how long. Going over the cold air intake for the actual engine, and I decided that I'm going to go a little tiny bit longer with that. And I think this is going to be okay. It's far enough away from the exhaust that it's not going to be problematic. And I think the pump's going to work okay with this. So that's what I'm doing here. Incidentally, the hoses on the black lines, after you guys run your heater for a bit, you're going to want to try to tighten those up, because I think the heat does something to them. Okay, so decided to add basically a little tiny bit of an air intake here. That's a passive air intake, just to cool down the entire system on the inside of the box. I suspected that part of the problem to everything was the fact that they just got too hot on the inside. Plugging away here, just trying to get some of these notches out so the air intake will sit flat against the case. I'm using a two-part adhesive, but I'm also going to have some mechanical fasteners for that air intake. Anyway, just finishing up here, and yeah. I had to sand down the top and the bottom of the air intake just a little tiny bit, because there's that plastic ridging This right here is, I decided to take some Scotch Brite, heavy duty Scotch Brite, and use it as a filter. With my luck, chances are that filter is going to light on fire and it's going to burn everything down. I don't know. We'll see. So that's the adhesive I use, by the way. It's the only thing that I know that will attach itself to ABS. Everything else just does not attach to ABS. This is a two-part adhesive. So, incidentally, when it comes to the clamps that they provide in the actual kit when you buy this, they're pretty garbage clamps. They are stainless steel. However, they're not very good. You get one or two chances sort of screwing around with them, and you try and back them out, and it screws up the thread. So I went out and bought all brand new, proper heavy gauge hose clamps, and replaced all this stuff. Highly recommend that you do that as well. So basically getting finished up here, and going to do a trial run, and we'll see how that goes, guys. Okay, guys, I just got everything cleaned up. Got everything, I think, fuel lines run correctly. I also think that I've got the exhaust all sort of figured out. It was a heck of a pain in the ass, that whole diesel fuel shooting inside the case. Like it was pretty serious. Thus one of the reasons why I'm out here doing work on it, because the kitchen wasn't going to be the appropriate place. It really stank. Anyway, so I've just started it up for the first run. One thing I will note is that I have a new controller. I picked it up for, I think it was, I don't know, $15 or something like that. I'll have a link down below. And so what we're going to do is we're starting up for the first time. I'm going to do a fuel test just to make sure that everything's running fine, not leaking. And the reason why I had that fuel problem, by the way, was I was doing a 6-hour test because I want to work out any bugs that might occur. Now, while it was a pain in the ass to have it happen in the first place, the one thing that I'm sort of happy about is that if I had taken this out and it was minus 15 and I'm kilometers and kilometers in the bush and this happened, is that that would be pretty disappointing. So on one hand, I'm kind of happy that it happened. On another hand, it was a huge pain in the butt. So what I will be doing is I will be doing a 6-hour bench test, and yeah, we'll go from there and we'll sort of see how it works out. Started up completely fine. You'll notice it does smoke a lot. I don't know if you can see it on that side, but right when it starts up, it always smokes, which most diesel heaters do. But after its initial burn, it chills out, and there's hardly any fumes that come off this thing. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to keep it, 4 or 5 feet away from the tent, and not have any of the exhaust fumes. But also with the hoses that I've purchased, which you'll see in the next episode, I've noticed a big difference in the thermal loss over the longer distance. So keeping your lines shorter to the tent is going to drastically increase how much actual thermal gain you get, not thermal loss. The longer the length, the more loss you're going to have. So anyway, I'm going to let this run for a little tiny bit, check on it, and fingers crossed that nothing bad goes on. And hopefully the next video will be me setting up the 4-season tent and trialing it, and we're going to do hopefully a 6-hour test, and hopefully don't run into any more problems. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.